Hello everyone, my name is Megmoonbeam and welcome back to my YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. Today I want to share a video looking into the astrology of Hunter Biden, and this is actually a new kind of weekly video that I want to do here on my channels where I look at specific people, places, things, institutions that have to do with current hot topics and how they relate into the astrology. So thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope that you enjoy this content. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channels. It helps out with the growth. And also, I have new 2025 astrology predictions live workshop for all 12 signs available at the description below on the Beyond Mystic Academy, along with astrology readings, other workshops and courses, my music, links, socials, everything you can check out in the description below. I really appreciate all of your support, and I'm sending lots of love your way. So, okay, first I want to bring up with you guys Hunter Biden's birth chart. So we're going to analyze his birth chart a bit astrologically, and then we're going to get into his current astrological transits, which are very interesting to say the least. The first person that I wanted to do in this series this week was actually President Donald Trump. But then, of course, I'm sure many of you know that we've just had Joe Biden pardon his son, Hunter, from any criminal charges at all, from 2014 to the present time. So this is unprecedented for a president to do, and Hunter Biden is actually the first ever child, this is from wikipedia.com, what I'm reading right now, of an incumbent US president to be indicted when he was criminally charged on September 14th, 2023. So very interesting character, to say the least. I also have some intuitive impressions. I did a meditation last night in preparation for filming this video, and there's some things that I felt intuitively as well through my psychic mediumship from Hunter's mother and also from Hunter himself. So I will explain that in a little bit after we look at the astrology, but first let's take a look at Hunter's chart, okay? So what do we know about Hunter? Okay, we know that he's Joe Biden's son. We know that allegedly there was a 630-page report on the Hunter Biden laptop from hell documenting, allegedly, 191 sex crimes, 128 drug crimes, and 140 business crimes. So for those of you who maybe don't know, which I think most of you probably do know, there was the Hunter Biden laptop scandal during the 2020 presidential election that was actually suppressed from big tech. Okay, I'll be mindful. I'm on my YouTube as well as my Rumble and X here, so hopefully my channel doesn't get shut down for saying this. But we all know the Hunter Biden laptop scandal was suppressed from big tech. And if that story had gotten out even bigger than it did at the time, then maybe Joe Biden wouldn't have won that election. Maybe a lot more people wouldn't have voted for him. So the Hunter Biden laptop shows crimes, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, that Hunter Biden committed the past, I don't even know how many years, he had the laptop. And the laptop got found by a laptop repair shop owner that Hunter just left the laptop at the repair shop. Pretty wild. So that's why I'm bringing up Hunter Biden. He's just had the pardon from his dad, the president of the United States, currently, supposedly. And of course, he seems to be a very nefarious, interesting character with the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. I personally haven't gone too down the rabbit hole of looking at the footage from that, because we know what some of these elite families are up to, and some of the people that I know on the dark web that have looked really into it say it's very dark and traumatizing. So anyways, let's look at his chart specifically, okay? So Hunter Biden was born February 4th, 1970 at 1:46 p.m. in Wilmington, Delaware. So this is Hunter Biden's actual exact astrology chart, if the information that we are seeing online in his birth details is accurate, which I do think it's accurate after analyzing his chart. And we've got Hunter Biden is an Aquarius sun, moon in Capricorn, and Cancer rising. Okay, so that is a very interesting mix of things right off the bat, because sun in Aquarius and moon in Capricorn, these are two signs that are both traditionally ruled by the planet Saturn. And these are two signs that we actually associate in astrology with emotionlessness. Okay, so I'm not saying that all Aquarians or Capricorns are emotionless sociopaths. Okay, some of them can be. But having that combination of those two signs together in your top three, so in your sun, moon, rising combination, can make for someone that definitely likely has a challenge in processing emotions, possibly a challenge in being empathetic towards others. Okay. Now he is a Cancer rising. He's a 1 degree Cancer rising, which is the sign that rules emotions. Okay. So there's a weird opposition going on in his sun, moon, rising, where his sun and moon are in two signs that are not that emotional, but then he's a Cancer rising. Okay. So right away, there's a very interesting mix of things. Him being an Aquarius, he's a natural rebel. He's naturally a weirdo. Okay. And I say that with love to all my Aquarians. It's the sign that rules weirdness. They're just the weirdos in the zodiac, right? He's into alternative things, probably into some things that the mainstream would consider weird. He's got a rebellious streak to him. Now, Aquarius also rules experiments, okay? You being into, as an Aquarius major placement, experimental things, or even, and I'm going to get a little bit possibly controversial here. Hopefully the YouTube overlords don't take me down for this, but even possibly experiments being done to you, okay? Now I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to share that I am an astrologer, I am looking at the astrology, but I'm also a psychic medium. And as I was preparing for this video, I was actually picking up on Hunter Biden's inner child. Okay, very interesting. I had Hunter Biden's inner child step forward towards me, and he was sharing that he has experienced some kind of experimentation done on him. And I was seeing the word, all in capital letters, fractured. That he has been fractured in some kind of way through experimentation from his inner child from a very young age. So I won't get into any specifics of what I think that is, but if you are a fellow truther, freedom lover, conspiracy theorist like me, then you probably know some potentials of what I might be talking about here. Some of the experiments that are done on children from elite families. So I think you guys catch my drift. And it's interesting that intuitively, I was really getting Hunter Biden's inner child coming forward, not his adult self, not any other part of him, his inner child that feels very, very fractured, very upset, very confused, and I'll even use the word tormented, unfortunately. So yeah, I think he's been through some kind of experimentation. I think his family and also father, okay, because the sun in astrology doesn't just represent Hunter, but it can also represent the father having potential experimentation done on him as well. And I think some of you guys, I know I'm being a little bit vague in parts of this video, but I think some of you guys may know what I mean by that. There's quite a few theories as to what is really going on with Joe Biden. Why does it seem like there's multiple Joe Bidens? Why does he look very different throughout the years? What experiments have been done on the father? Okay, so it actually shows up in Hunter's chart that experiments of some sort have likely been done to him and also his father. Now, not every single Aquarius is going to have secret society experiments done to them, but it's the conglomeration of things in his chart together that as an astrologer is making me make this conclusion. Okay. So, and also the Aquarius in his chart is amplified by the fact that he was born with one of his top aspects, Uranus in trine to his sun in Aquarius, conjunct Venus in Aquarius. Uranus is the modern day ruler of the sign of Aquarius. So as an Aquarius, with also Venus in Aquarius conjunct your sun, that also amplifies it. In trine, strengthening aspect to Uranus, that amplifies the Aquarian energy as well. His moon is in the sign of Capricorn. Now, I am also a moon in Capricorn. Shout out to all my moon in Capricorns. And his moon in Capricorn is very, very significant because the moon is actually what we call his chart ruler in his chart. And that is because he is a Cancer rising, okay? So in astrology, whatever is the planet that rules over your rising sign, we call that the chart ruler. And it has a huge influence on the person personally. In the birth chart, the placement of, for him, it's the moon that's the chart ruler, and also in the current astrological transits as well, okay? So as a Cancer rising, it's interesting because he's got a hard time processing his emotions with his sun in Aquarius and moon in Capricorn, but he is a Cancer rising, so he can have, I'm feeling intuitively, like maybe emotional outbursts, or he can be actually feeling things in an emotional way very strong, but he doesn't know how to process that. And as a Cancer rising, he does really care about his family. And if there are any traumas that have happened with the family, which there's been a lot with Hunter Biden, okay, we're going to get into that, that is going to affect him deeply, okay? Now, his moon, chart ruler, is in Capricorn, sitting in the 8th house of Scorpio. The moon is at detriment in Capricorn. The moon does not like to be in Capricorn. It's very uncomfortable there. That can show, when you have moon in Capricorn, potential issues with not just how you process your emotions, but also can be issues with the mother. The moon rules the mother. Can be issues with women in your life, issues with family, your ancestors, these things that the moon rules. And he's got his moon at detriment in Capricorn, sitting in the 8th house of Scorpio. Death, criminality, secret societies, secrets, traumas, intense life experiences, all things that I think relate to Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's mom is named Nelia, I might be pronouncing her name wrong. It's Nelia or Nelia Biden, actually died in a car crash in 1972 with Hunter's younger sister. So it actually does show up in his chart that his natal moon in the 8th house, that can indicate the death within your lifetime, the death at a young age of your mother, you going through the death and trauma of your mother. Can also indicate other women. And his moon is conjunct his Mercury. Mercury has to do with siblings. And he has had 2 of his siblings, Naomi, his younger daughter that died in the car crash with his mom, and also Bo, his brother, who died in recent years. Both died at a young age within his lifetime. Now, Mercury is not sitting in the 8th house with his moon, but is at a Scorpio degrees, 20 degree, which can indicate to die at an early age or someone to die before you within your lifetime. So that also shows up. So moon in Capricorn in the 8th house, yeah, it makes sense that his mom and his sister died at an early age, that is a huge trauma that he has had to go through. His brother, another family member, also died at an early age. The moon in the 8th house can also indicate, and I have seen this with some clients that have come from families where they maybe came from a background in secret societies. Moon in the 8th house can indicate coming from a family that has to do with a secret society or that has major secrets, okay? Also could be involved in crime, mafias. We are hearing the term now that the Hunter Biden laptop from Hell story has come out, and the pardon of Hunter Biden, the term the Biden crime family. Okay, that makes sense for Hunter with his moon in the 8th house. Okay. Now, I also want to mention as well, very interesting that his sun and his Venus are conjunct in the 9th house, which is the Sagittarian ruled areas of life and rules foreign country, foreign people, Venus in the 9th house, foreign money. Okay. So to make money, right, in a foreign country, in an experimental or weird or different way, which we know that he, part of one of the scandals with Hunter Biden is that he made a lot of money in, I believe it was Ukraine, might have been other countries as well, potentially illegally as the president's son, and potentially shared that with his family and President Joe Biden as well. That Venus is at 18 degrees. Venus, of course, rules money, financial transactions in foreign countries, and his Venus is at 18 degrees, the misfortunate degree, according to Nicholas Stoyanovic's degree theory, so that misfortunate events can come from money, Venus, that is made in foreign countries, the ninth house. He has had a huge scandal with his affairs and business dealings in foreign countries. And one of the things that I want to share with you guys is that I do not think Hunter Biden, even though he has received this pardon from his dad, Joe Biden, I do not think that he is going to be getting away with these crimes, okay? The Hunter Biden story is not over yet. And yes, this can be very frustrating for those of us that are citizens of, I'm a Canadian, for those citizens of the United States, North America, the whole world, to witness a president's son getting away with something that any of the rest of us would be put in jail for a very long time for. So it is very unfair. It is very messed up. It is totally an abuse of power. And I feel like now we're going to get into his astrological transits in a couple moments, current transits. I'm seeing that this story is not going away. This story is not complete. And I don't think he's going to be getting away with the crimes that he has committed. And I don't think the Biden family is going to be getting away with the crimes that they committed. I also want to mention before going forward that because Hunter has his moon at 23 degrees of Capricorn, we have just exited the Pluto in Capricorn transit. Very interesting that in 2020, during the second last presidential election, when the Hunter Biden laptop scandal came out, he was having exact transit Pluto conjunct his natal sun. So Pluto was at 23, 22, 21 degrees all around the time when that laptop scandal came out. Pluto, the ruling planet of Scorpio, rules truths being revealed, scandals coming out, criminality on his moon having to do with his family. And, Pluto takes over 240 years to go through all the signs, do its zodiac revolution. So you guys can, figure out yourselves what the chances are of that just, continues to prove. This is why I love to look at people's charts, because the astrology just proves itself to be real. What are the chances of him having transit Pluto exactly conjunct his natal moon when the Hunter Biden laptop story comes out, right? So that's an interesting little tidbit for you. A couple more things I want to mention about his chart before we go into his current transits. His top aspect in his birth chart is he was born with Mars, 8 degrees of Aries, in an exact opposition to Uranus at 8 degrees of Libra. Okay, so this is, Uranus is the planet of instability. It's the ruling planet of Aquarius, shocks, surprises, instability. And I like to call Mars and Uranus in astrology the two energizer bunnies. Okay, Mars rules the divine masculine side of life, energy, life force. It's very energizing. Uranus is electricities, electric shocks. It's also very energizing. These are the two, as I like to call them, energizing bunnies in opposition with each other exact. So this is, someone that has had a very unstable life. They might even, and I'm just getting this intuitively looking at this aspect, they might even have serious, unstable mental health issues, very erratic personal issues, family issues, because that Uranus is in the 4th house of family, issues with older people, older men, the father, grandfather, because the Mars in the opposition is sitting in the 10th house, possible ego issues with Mars at home in Aries, in an opposition to Uranus. So there's major wounds and instability having to do with his family, having to do with men in his life and his father. This is also strengthened by the fact that he was born with Granddaddy Saturn, as I like to call him, in an opposition to Jupiter. Okay, Saturn can also represent the father. And, Saturn in an adverse aspect, like an opposition to Jupiter, the planet of expansion. Whatever it touches, it expansions. This is major issues, challenges, wounds having to do with one's father, having to do with one's parents, grandparents, family of origin. So that kind of shows up all over the chart. Also, Saturn in opposition to Jupiter can be issues to do with the law, legal matters, courts, which he has had. Hunter Biden was indicted. Hunter Biden has gone to court. And I think he will be going to court again. I don't see this story going away. And last thing that I will mention as well is, Hunter Biden obviously has some addiction issues, alcohol, drug issues. And he was born with Neptune, the planet that rules drugs and alcohol, things that take us outside of our bodies, at 0 degrees. Critical degree. Okay, so in Nicholas Stoyanovic's degree theory, astrology degree theory, 0 degrees is like the strongest expression of that planet and sign. So, Sagittarius, that's one of the signs that loves to party, loves to go out of its body and expand its consciousness. Neptune rules drugs and alcohol. So yeah, that indicates having a serious issue, likely, which he does have, with addiction. Okay. Now let's look at his current astrological transits. So we've got up his transit chart, and I'm actually filming this video on Tuesday, December 3rd. So I brought up the transit chart for Hunter for Tuesday, December 3rd. Okay. Man, this is some really interesting current transits that he's got going on right now. So I think it was it on December 1st? I think it was late in the day, December 1st, if I'm not mistaken, that it got announced that Joe Biden is giving Hunter Biden a pardon for any crimes committed from 2014 to present day, right? So at that exact time, and today, December 3rd, as I'm filming this video, Hunter has transit Saturn. So Saturn is now at 12 degrees of Pisces, exactly conjunct his natal north node at 12 degrees of Pisces in his 10th house. Okay. So this is, it can look like karma being lifted from him, right? Granddaddy Saturn is the ruler of karma, but that Saturn is in Pisces right now. So not everything is as it seems in the collective. There's a lot of movies, lies, illusions, AI, things that are not actually as they seem. So it can look on the outside, right? The 10th house is our public reputation and how things look on the outside. It can look like, oh, wow, he just had this huge weight lifted off to him. He just had this huge karma lifted off to him. But it's Saturn in Pisces. So there's something not real about it. There's something not accurate about it. There's something that I'm hearing Spirit say the term false start. It is not as it seems. And actually, Saturn can represent not just karma, but challenge and the father. So he is dealing with a huge challenge in his public reputation having to do with his father. Because we all know it's not fair to be a criminal, to do really messed up crimes, and then get a presidential pardon when the rest of us would be going to jail if we did that, right? So this is definitely affecting his public reputation in an even more negative light. And it may look like there's a burden being lifted, but we got to remember that's a Saturn in Pisces and at a Pisces degree, 12 degrees. So not all is as it seems, okay? This story is not over for him. So I'm sorry, you guys, that I keep repeating myself with that, but I'm just going to keep repeating myself with that because what I'm about to say to you next is so many things all happening at the same time where I think justice is going to be served to Hunter Biden. And let me be clear that I do not wish harm on anyone. I do not wish death on anyone. I do not wish for people to suffer in life. But astrologically here, this is showing through several things that I'm about to share with you guys that if you've been a bad boy or a bad girl and you've got adverse aspects coming up with the malefic planets, so Pluto, Saturn, Mars. Also, we consider Neptune a malefic planet as well. You can't run away from that, okay? So first things first, what Hunter Biden is going through right now and for the next 20 years is Pluto now in Aquarius. Okay, as I'm filming this video, Pluto is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Hunter Biden is a sun 15 degrees of an Aquarius. Okay, if you are an Aquarius, you have Pluto in your sign for the next 20 years. You are going through a Pluto initiation, transformation, the biggest life changes and potentially life challenges over the next 20-year period that are up-leveling you into your empowerment, up-leveling you into your greatest version. And, you know, transits with the malefic planets, they affect us depending on where we are at in our consciousness journey. And I like to use the silly way of saying it, that if you've been a bad boy or a bad girl, meaning you're into some seriously weird shit, okay, especially if you've been into crime, if you've been doing very dark things, Pluto is going to expose that, okay? There's no running away from that. There's no black magic, secret society spells that you can do to run away from that. You are going to be exposed, okay? So it may seem like with transit Saturn in Pisces, at a Pisces degree, on his midheaven, on his north node, like, oh, look, he's going to get away with it. It's an illusion. He's not actually going to be getting away with this. There is major, I'm hearing Spirit say, debt that is going to be paid. And again, I'm not wishing harm on anyone. I'm just reading the astrology here. This dude is going to be exposed, okay? He's about to experience for the next 20 years, but it's going to be exact. Starting around, well, it's getting pretty close there. It's only 15 degrees off from being exact. This is going to be from now until 2030 that transit Pluto in Aquarius is still in his 8th house of crime, secrets being exposed. So I think it'll happen before then, but from now to 2030, this is the time period where we could see Hunter Biden getting indicted again. You know, I don't know how the whole U.S. legal system works, if he's just received a pardon and then maybe something else comes up where he's going to have to appear in court, or there's going to be potential indictments being made. But he is definitely going to go through some kind of exposing in a very intense way, to the point where, you know, transit Pluto in the 8th house, if you've been doing some messed up stuff, that could even be possibly going to jail, okay? Or public, major humiliation as well. So he's going through a period of major wake-up calls, transformation, potential for court trials, and criminal proceedings. We've also got transit Neptune, a malefic, in opposition exactly right now to his natal Pluto. Transit Neptune, 27 degrees of Pisces, in exact opposition to his natal Pluto at 27 degrees of Virgo. So this, and there's other stuff I'm about to share with you guys. This is some really intense things that he's got going on where you cannot hide from these things. You can try to play tricks. You can try to get away from things. You will not be able to hide from serious crimes you've committed with these transits. I'm going to be careful with my words here. I think I've already said some things that the overlords, tech overlords, won't like. But yeah, transit Neptune in opposition to natal Pluto, possible disappearance or death of a family member, and lies. Neptune rules lies regarding public reputation and family secrets, right? Also, another really gnarly transit Pluto in his 8th house in square to Saturn. The two major malefics in square, which he is going to be having as a very strong influence from now to 2028. So I'm seeing here, you guys, that it is not in the long distance future where actually this Hunter Biden story isn't over yet. This is coming back to the surface. And I think that I know he just received a pardon from his dad. I don't know how those things can possibly get reversed, but astrologically, this is very intense for him. This is very adverse if you have been acting in a bad boy way, okay, which he definitely has been. And also very interesting that all the eclipses that we are going to be having in 2025 will be conjunct placements that Hunter Biden has in his chart. Now, this is pretty extremely rare, if you ask me. Okay, we have 4 eclipses usually every year. Sometimes we have 3 eclipse seasons. In 2025, we will be having 2 eclipse seasons, the first in March and the second in September. And each eclipse season has 2 eclipses. All 4 eclipses conjunct placements in his chart. Eclipses are about major life changes, doors closing, new ones opening, and like the aspects with the malefic planets, you cannot escape eclipses conjunct your major placements. So he's going to be having the full moon eclipse on March 14th, conjunct his natal Pluto. He's going to be having the new moon eclipse on March 29th, conjunct his natal Mars. The full moon eclipse in Pisces on September 7th, conjunct his north node. And the new moon eclipse in Virgo on September 21st, conjunct his Pluto. Both eclipse seasons, the March eclipse season and September eclipse season in 2025, conjunct his Pluto in his 4th house. Pluto is secrets, death, rebirth, transformation, things being revealed, criminality, possibly having to go to court, being exposed in the 4th house of family. Okay. So also, I forgot to say his Chiron conjunct the Aries eclipse in March 2025 as well. So this guy is not going anywhere. There's definitely going to be a lot more that we have to see from him. And, you know, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say something that might actually sound totally crazy here. Well, I'm about to say 2 things that might sound totally crazy. You know, with his north node in Pisces, okay, you guys, it is his higher purpose, it is his higher destiny to step into real deal healing, spirituality, forgiveness, and in some sort of way, sacrifice as well. So to step away from the material realm and to step into the spiritual and to really heal yourself. So this may sound totally crazy what I'm about to say, but we might see Hunter Biden try to redeem himself spiritually, try to go on the good side. And maybe this is something that has already happened behind the scenes where with his North Node in Pisces, you know, he's probably feeling a really intense calling to redeem himself, to heal himself, to step away from the dark side, okay? And I will share with you intuitively when I was connecting to Hunter Biden's inner child yesterday while preparing for this video, I feel like, you know, all of us at our core, our inner child, we are children of God. We are love and we are light. So, you know, as evil as we may become, as dark as we may become, we always have that inner child that wants to be close to God, that wants to be loving, that wants to be magical, that wants to be innocent, that wants to be peaceful. And I felt that very strong when connecting to Hunter, is that he's been fractured from his inner child. And, you know, perhaps with these eclipses that we're starting to have happen in Pisces, you know, in the same sign as his North Node, maybe he's going to be activated into stepping into, again, redeeming himself, stepping onto the good side. And this might have been something that has already happened for him, okay? And I'm not saying we need to feel sorry for him. I'm just saying that's something I'm picking up intuitively. He might try to step into the good side of things. Now, I will also share that I did have Hunter Biden's mom come up intuitively as well. And she said some pretty intense things to me. Now, I after I connected to her mom, I did a meditation and I was connecting with my mediumship yesterday. I was trying to find footage of, is it Nelia or Naila Biden? I don't think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Sorry, you guys. But I was trying to find footage. I was trying to find background on her. And wow, they have really scrubbed off the internet. It is very hard to find any information about Hunter Biden's deceased mom. What I felt intuitively from Hunter Biden's mom is actually a very positive energy. Now, I don't know what she was into in her life, if she ever did anything weird, but actually what I felt from her very loud was, I never sold myself out. I will never sell myself out, and I wouldn't sell myself out. She was like screaming that at me. I would never sell myself out. And I actually heard her say, I am a freedom fighter. I am one of you, and I will never sell myself out. I also felt Hunter Biden's mom telling me to, at one point, stop intuitively trying to look into the Biden family because it is dangerous. And she said, you don't want to be, she said, don't get tangled up in their web, and stay away, stay away, stay away. So there was a message coming through with Hunter Biden's mom of the importance that if you're a fellow astrologer like me, tarot reader, spiritual person, intuitive, psychic protection is extremely important and necessary if you're ever going to try to look at some of these crime families, very nefarious elite families. There's very dark energies around them. And I felt Hunter Biden's mom actually trying to protect me from that. And I actually stopped trying to intuitively look in at a certain point. So I feel like his mom on the other side is actually trying to help Team Freedom. She's trying to help certain things be exposed about the Biden family, actually. And she was talking about the need to psychically protect yourself if you're ever going to look into any information having to do with them, especially if you're going to be doing any spiritual woo-woo arts looking into them. So yeah, that's all I've got for you guys to share on Hunter Biden's chart, current transits, and intuitive impressions that I have. I hope that you enjoyed this video and the content that I put out there. Let me know in the content, people, that you'd like me to look into in the future. Sorry if I'm talking messed up. I'm filming this during a Mercury retrograde. Okay, you guys. This is a new type of video that I'm going to be doing on my channel, looking into different people, places, things every week. So let me know who you'd like me to look into. Remember to check out my links in the description box below. I've got my new 2025 Astrology Predictions Workshop for all 12 signs available. The replay is now available. It's only $35 US for over 10 hours of access of predictions to all 12 signs. My readings are available below, and all my links. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to help the channel's growth. I love you all so much, and I'm sending so much cosmic love your way. Mwah. Bye, everybody.